Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Light Sports Ramble. I am Troy Otradovic, as always, joined with Evan Watallison. Evan, we thought today would be back to normal. Yesterday was a crazy day. You in the studio, me driving through dead spots, dropping the call, talking about original Light Sports Ramble yesterday. Then today we thought it would be a nice, smooth day, talk a little bit about the Packers, but pre-show we're talking about your crazy day, my crazy day. Have you found a place to park yet?
Yeah, I'm finally in my house.
Nice.
Place to park.
Nice. At least you're comfortable now.
In my house.
And at least my day, at least I have a half hour to ramble about sports to get rid of my day that seemed to just be done and over that quick. But, again, today's episode is going to be great, Evan. A lot of people have talked about us. I know for the last 2 weeks they wanted on Twitter Talk, and they wanted us to talk about our evaluation of the Packers position by position. So we're going to start tonight. We're going to start with the quarterbacks. Then we're going to do the running backs also, and we're going to put a little twist on it. We're going to grade the players individually, give them our individual evaluation, and then we're going to talk about whether or not we feel the Packers need to upgrade, what they need to do at that position, maybe who might be leaving, who might not be leaving. But it'll be a fun episode and a chance for us to really evaluate individual play and overall. I mean, some of these positions we're going to have some good overall grades, some not going to be so good. But let's get started today, bud. We're gonna start with quarterbacks. That is the number one thing in Green Bay always when you got Aaron Rodgers. So let's talk.
Yeah, so we're just talking NFL news, but before we went to the pre-show, we have some NFL news to share. Norv Turner is the offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, great. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
He'll do good when they get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to. Yeah. He's a good quarterback.
And then just general sports. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, he is good developing quarterbacks. I mean, you look at what he did, what he had in Cleveland. He didn't have, that much talent in Cleveland, and I thought he did pretty good, with what he had trying to develop those quarterbacks. I think Norv Turner's a good offensive guy. I mean, he had his chance as a head coach. He kind of reminds me of the Caldwell. Good coordinator. Give him his chance as a head coach. I think Norv had his shot. I think Norv is just better suited in the NFL as a coordinator. My personal opinion.
Norv's had a couple shots.
Yeah. So, well, that's interesting news.
And then just some baseball news before I get started. Major League Baseball did approve expanded edition replay today, so just a couple of things to touch point on before we go dive into our evaluations.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I just said a Major League Baseball approved expanded edition replay today, so just something to throw out there before we dive into our evaluations. So didn't mean to cut you off there.
Nah. You're always cutting me off, bud. That's why we do the show. You always cut me off. That's why we get along so good. If you didn't cut me off, though, who would? That's why we do the show. That's why I need you. I need you on the show. Otherwise, I would just ramble for 30 minutes. So it's kind of that. Yeah, we get along good, but I also need you. Yeah.
Here's what I'm wondering, and I'm wondering what our listeners would say, and this has just got me kind of laughing, and this conversation did. Last comment before we go into our evals. The station that I work at here in Milwaukee, 1250 WSSP, and the morning show, they had a poll question on there. Which one of the guys on staff would you want a taser? Now, I wonder which one of us, our listeners, would want a taser. I'm kind of curious. That was one of the discussions they were having this morning. Who would you want a taser?
Okay, well, let's throw it out there. Those that do listen. Would you rather tase Evan or would you rather tase Troy? Unfortunately, Evan, I think they're going to pick me. I don't know. It's just, again, my opinion. So let's see if anybody actually tweets it out.
Yeah.
Who would you rather tase, Evan or myself? I would run as fast as I could because I don't want anything to do with anything of tasing. But that's pretty cool. I'm sure there's a number. I'm sure there's a lot of people in this world that want to tase me, and they're probably right outside my office after I did all their evaluations today. So we'll see.
You know how we know we made it? If people actually say they want to tase us, because it shows that, there's people that might not like us. So that shows we made it.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people yesterday. And for those that don't know, because we didn't get a chance to upload yesterday's ramble, and we'll get to it, I actually had made a major error yesterday tweeting out the wrong name for Gordon. I tweeted out Cribs, and man, there's a lot of people that wanted to tase me and chastise me for that. So I think I'm in the lead at Bud. I think I'm ahead of you. So, well, let's get into it though. Let's talk Packers. Let's talk quarterbacks, and go through it any way you want to. We've got 4 players that actually took snaps for the Packers, so we will give our evaluation of each of the players, and we'll just we'll go ahead there. Let's get it going, Bud.
Yeah, well, looking at the quarterbacks, aside from the 4 quarterbacks that took snaps in the regular season, the Packers also had a total of, I believe, 7 quarterbacks during the year, because in the training camp you had Rodgers, you had Graham Harrell, you had B.J. Coleman, then you had Vince Young, then you had Seneca Wallace, then you had Scott Tozing, then you had Matt Flynn, then you had Aaron Rodgers again. So I think they had a total of 7 or 8 quarterbacks this season. So looking at the quarterback play, though, just for the regular season, then we're going to start with Rodgers, the starter. I'm not going to give Rodgers an A. He did miss 7 games, and in the games he did play in, we struggled to score in the red zone. We were very hard to score in the red zone, even with Rodgers. There's a stat that I saw yesterday that with Rodgers on the field, the Packers averaged 2.9 points per every drive and averaged about close to 45 yards per drive, I believe. And then without Rodgers, that number dropped to 1.7, and they only averaged about 25 yards per drive. So, even 2.7 points per drive isn't the greatest. Now, looking at Rodgers, I'm going to have to give him a B. I can't give him an A. He missed 7 games, and we struggled to score in the red zone even with him out there. So what would you rank Rodgers?
Well, I'm with you. And I know a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of grading things come out, and they're like, well, his time in there. And you know what, Evan, people argue with you. You can't lower his grade because of the time missed. So fine. I'm going to eliminate that. I'm going to look at his play while he was in there. And even with his play in there, I'm going to give him a B because of where the season ended. He was healthy. He was cleared to play. He went out and played, right? And we lost in the first round. So that comes into my grading. The overall success of the team does come into this for me, even though it's an individual grade. When I look at it, are there things that he could have done that could have got us into a different position? My answer is yes. I don't think he did all he could do. And you look at his rating, 104.9. Honestly, for Rodgers, that's an average year. That's an average year for him. He had 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in his games played, completed 66% of his passes, 8.7 yards per attempt. When you look at the body of work that Aaron Rodgers has done, that's an average type number for Aaron Rodgers. Correct, or am I wrong?
Yeah. I think it'd be average. If you look at what he used to, he's used to having QB quarterback rating or QBR in the 120s.
Exactly. And so I'm going to touch exactly on the point that you did, and I don't need to go any further with it. The reason I give Aaron Rodgers a B, and it's near the B+, A- type range, but it's the red zone efficiency. You and I, even when he was 100% healthy from game 1, we were questioning red zone efficiency. We never fixed it. We never got better, and it cost us in the playoff game. We had 1st and goal, and we had to kick a field goal instead of scoring the go-ahead touchdown. And so when I look at production from quarterback, it is the overall body of work. Turnovers, of course, is a big one. But can you lead the team down to score? And when I mean scoring, I'm talking touchdowns, not field goals. My old adage, and I will say this, and I know the Ravens did it against the Lions. They won kicking field goals. one of the very minute times that that's going to happen where you don't score a touchdown and you can win a game. But for the most part, when you're kicking field goals, you're not going to win a football game. You need to score 7 points. And that's why I give him a B. So, I think we're on the same page there. I think we have the same concern, is that the red zone efficiency needs to improve next year for his quarterback grade to go up.
Yeah, big time.
So, of course, like I said, I'm going to take out that he got hurt, even based on the time he wasn't hurt. But when he did get hurt, we had 3 other quarterbacks that went in there. So let's take it this way, Evan. Let's actually go from the first quarterback that went in. And we really can't give this guy the best grade in the world, if any grade, but Seneca Wallace took over. So what do we think about the play of Seneca Wallace?
I got to give him an incomplete because he looked he didn't look good at all against the Bears. He went in there ice cold, not really practicing any reps in practice much whatsoever, unfamiliar with the offense, then had a couple of the wide receivers. And then that following week, he only played 1 series, his only start of the year, and then he got hurt. And on that series, he drove them down into to the other side of the 50-yard line. So he flipped the field position. In my opinion, he had a successful drive against the Eagles, his first series against the Eagles. Then he got hurt. So for him, I got to give him an incomplete. I can't grade him based off what he showed.
I agree. And I have nothing more to say other than incomplete. I mean, he was the guy that we thought was going to take over, hurt his hamstring. Then we had to count on Scott Tolzien, who got thrust into action. I can't really take when he came in as the backup. I mean, yes, you're supposed to be prepared to play like a professional. However, when you got Aaron Rodgers in front of you, you prepare, but you're not getting any first team reps. So I'm with you. Incomplete on Seneca Wallace. So Wallace gets hurt against the Eagles, tweaks that groin, and we got to put in Scott Tolzien, who had his chance for a couple games. What do we think about Mr. Tolzien?
Scott Tolzien, I got to give a C-. You look at him; he's one and also got thrust into a tough situation against the Eagles. Didn't have a lot of reps. I think he said in his post-game news conference that he only had 5 reps total. So he didn't have a lot of reps. He came in cold, and he put up decent passing yards, decent completion percentage. But what he struggled in was taking care of the football. He threw, I think, 6 interceptions in the games that he played, or something like that. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I got to give him a C-, D+, C- for his performance. He did the best that he could, but he needed to show a little bit more in regards to moving that football and putting points on the board rather than turnovers. So D+, C-.
I'm in the same range. I give him the C grade. I think he got thrust into a situation. He's a guy that I think could be one of those backup quarterbacks that you use in the short term. Watching him at the extended time that we got a chance to look at him, he had his glimmer of hopes, but he also shown a lot of inconsistency. Now, would that come with time? I don't know. I mean, you got to remember, another year in the system, would it help him? I'm not sure. But what I've seen from him is just he showed a lot of promise, then he showed a lot of inconsistency. The problem I have with him is he's not going to be able to throw that long ball. When I look at the things that he was doing, he was uncomfortable in the pocket. I mean, can he improve? Sure. But on the body of work that we're going on from this year, it was nothing better than average. And the only reason I'm giving him average, not basing anything off wins and losses, is just the inconsistency. There was times where I thought he was terrible, and then there's times I thought he was okay. He was never great. But I'm going to grade him out at a C. He became to the point ineffective where the Packers had to go out, and they turned to the old veteran Matt Flynn. So then we signed Matt Flynn, and Matt Flynn came in. So where are you going to rank Mr. Flynn?
C plus. He left a lot of points on the field. You look back, he left some points on the field against the Vikings. Yeah, he got us back to a tie, but he left some points on the field there. He left some points on the field against the Steelers. That's a game the Packers should have won. Flynn pocket awareness hurt him in there. That's Flynn's biggest problem is the pocket awareness. He doesn't have the feel of the pressure and where the pressure is coming from. So that's a big issue with him there. And he also tends to lock in on one receiver only, and he's going to throw it to that guy regardless if the ball, if he's, before the snap if he's covered or not. He did do some good things for Green Bay. He led the comeback against Atlanta, led the comeback against Dallas, performed really well in the second half against Dallas. But it was his slow starts in both those games, and this was an academic all year for Green Bay. It was his slow starts those first two games, and then those two games against Atlanta and Dallas that got them into position to have a big comeback. So I would give him a C plus for what he did.
You're a little bit higher than me. I'm on the lower end of the C. I expected more. The reason that his grade is there is he's kind of like that person that was there, that's been there, done that. I just expected more. Granted, I know he was away, but he's got some deficiencies in his games that were really exploited. And like you said, he left a lot of points on the game. I thought he could win some more games. I do give him credit for the Dallas game. He never gave up. And I think Matt Flynn, thrown into a situation again, but I thought he had enough time being a veteran that we would be a little bit better with Matt Flynn. But it was apparent this season why he has not been able to hold on to a starting job. And it's exactly what you said. And my glaring thing, and I think I had said this in a ramble, was locking into one receiver. And I go back, to that Steelers game when he had Nelson in the post, and if he would have looked Boykin off, he had Nelson 2 steps behind the safety, touchdown, different game. So that's where I go. I'm on the low end of the C on him, bud. So overall, you look at it, the quarterback situation, yes, we had an injury. The quarterback play based on numbers, and I was looking at numbers, they weren't overly terrible. Even Rodgers' numbers weren't terrible. But every quarterback that was on that field could not put 7 points on the board. And like you said, you said it great. They left points on the board and are on the field. And when you leave them on the field, that's definitely going to bring your grade down in my book. You've got to score points. This is a scoring league. I know defense wins championships, but you got to score points. Your defense can't stop them all the time. And so that's why my grade's may be a little bit lower than a lot of people, and people may want to tase me for it. But, again, that is my opinion. So looking ahead to next year, Evan, and I'm also looking at the time. We've only got 11 minutes left. We really rambled in the beginning. We got 2 free agent quarterbacks. Matt Flynn, or just one, Matt Flynn, is going to be a free agent.
Seneca Wallace is a free agent too, I believe.
Yeah, he's a free agent. Yeah, he actually is a free agent. So we got Matt Flynn and Seneca Wallace, both free agents. Do we bring either of them back? And do we keep Tolzien?
I personally say no. I say no to bringing either of them back, and I say we give Tolzien the offseason to develop his game a little bit, see what he does, during quarterback school. Because, in all honesty, if Tolzien doesn't do very well in, early on in training camps, I think Matt Flynn's still going to be available.
I agree. I don't think Matt Flynn's going anywhere. He didn't prove enough in his starting roles to go get another big contract, if any contract. I'm with you. I say don't sign those quarterbacks. We're going to need one to take some reps in the OTAs, but I think you can go in and get a street free agent for that. And maybe we can get a quarterback in the draft. And I say that, I'm not talking early rounds. I'm talking later rounds, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Maybe be able to pick up a quarterback. Hopefully our scouting department did their job. Because, to be honest, there's a lot of good quarterbacks out there this year. And, I've seen the mock drafts, and, everybody's talking about the top quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterbacks out there this year that are going to be in the draft. And so maybe we can pick one of those up. But backup quarterback is going to be a situation. I'm on board with you. Give Tolzien a chance in the offseason, a full OTA, see if he can pick up the system. The guy's young. Could he be a viable backup? I believe so. We also have to believe that hopefully we're not going to have to go through this travesty of having Rodgers down again. But you never know. So we have to be prepared for it. But moving on, bud, we got a little bit of time to talk about our running backs. And Eddie Lacy is going to the Pro Bowl, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So take it away. We'll start.
I wish he.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll be quick with Lacy. I wish he would not go to the Pro Bowl just for his, get that ankle ready. But I'll give Lacy a B plus. He has some work he needed to do in pass pro, and he did have some passes that he dropped that he should have caught. But overall, he ran well. He did exactly what we expected, and there's not much more to say than that. So I give him a B plus.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I'll tell you for just so people know, it's not like I'm being Scrooge and stingy in my grading. When I give an A, that means that person, in my opinion, is that impact type player. And I thought Eddie Lacy was an impact player, but he's got some things that he can do a little bit better. B plus. Like if the grading scale is 90, he's probably 89.4. Just didn't quite round up to 90. But I agree with you. For him to be able to go in and really be better in the pass game, that's where I think that he can really improve. I'm looking at the stats. He had 35 catches, which is good. But I can still remember a number of drops that Eddie Lacy had. But other than that, the guy is just a beast. He'll hit the hole, and I look forward to him having great things in the future. We just got to make sure we're using them. I wish we would have used them more in the red zone and just pounded them in there, and really can't wait till we talk about the offensive line. But Eddie Lacy was the workhorse. I know that in the beginning of the year he got his concussion, and so James Starks had an opportunity. Let's talk about James Starks. How do you grade Mr. Starks at?
I'd give him a B. He's one that struggles in pass protection. That's why he's not in there on third downs. That's why John Kuhn goes in there. But I'll give him a B. He did well running when he was given opportunities, and he turned some passes in the backfield into huge games. But I just need to see it more from him to give him a higher grade than that.
I give him a B too. I'm right there with you. Solid B. He is. I think the one thing that he did is he ran well enough this year that I don't think we see James Starks back in a Packer uniform. He ran well enough. My thing with James Starks is that he seemed to get a little more consistent as the year went on, but my only beef with him is just the consistency. There are sometimes he looked like he was running at 200 miles an hour and just a power running back. Then there's other times that he looked like he wanted to try and be a finesse running back where I thought he could have hit the hole. I thought he did really good at it, but when you look at his overall stats, he averaged 5.5 yards per carry. And he did a really good job for us. Unfortunately, he is a free agent, and I think he's going to be gone. That
injury bug bit him a little bit again this season too early on.
Yeah, but he came back strong.
That's always a concern with him.
Yeah, he came back strong though, and so I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the open market's going to give for him. There might be a team out there that wants that number 2 back, and he's a great compliment. I'd like to have him back. I just don't think he's coming back to Green Bay. What are your thoughts? You think he's coming back?
No, I don't think he is.
Would you like him back?
I'd love him back, but I don't think he is.
Okay.
I think he's going to get a starting opportunity somewhere.
Yeah, actually, the team that I think the team that might take a good hard look at him is Indianapolis. Even though they got Richardson, I think Indianapolis would be a good fit for him. So I'm just saying that here in January before free agency. So about 5 minutes. Our other draft pick at running back that got hurt was Jonathan Franklin.
Next.
What do you got?
Next.
Next. No grade?
Next.
No grade on Jonathan?
It's hard to grade him. It's just hard to grade him. He had some fumbling issues. He didn't bring much to special teams. He didn't bring anything to the passing game. He didn't block at all. I said it coming out of college. He's good in space, good in the open field, but he's not good running between the tackles. And I just didn't see enough of him to give him a passing grade at all. I would have to give him an F. He needs to protect the football. He cost us the Cincinnati game with the fumble.
You're a little more harsh than I am today, Evan. So you're getting tased. They're tasing you for the F. I give him a D. I give him a D for disappointment. I expected more, and I know the injury and whatever, but big disappointment for me. I actually, the whole talk about when Eddie Lacy came in out of shape, and you remember that talk, and I'm like, well, that'll be a great chance for Franklin to really get in there. I really liked Franklin coming out of college. Really liked him. And you got to the game, and I don't know if maybe I don't know what to say. Just D for disappointment. That's all I'm going to say, because as I'm looking at the time,
he ran well against Cincinnati
until he fumbled. And I'm going to hold that against him. It cost us a game. That's all I got to say. It's the disappointment. Sorry to cut you off. He runs well.
Does that mean we get to talk about Kuhn?
Yeah, let's talk about Kuhn. Let's talk about John Kuhn. We got 3 minutes left. What about Mr. Kuhn?
Kuhn, I'll give him a C. He's an average player. He offers more. I think he offers more value to the Packers than he would any other team. He offers a lot in pass pro, but I always hate it when they give him the football because usually it's only for like a 1 or 2 yard gain. But he does his job, does it okay. Could be a better lead blocker. I give him a C.
Well, I'm going a little higher. I'm going a B. I think the value in there, and I think the comfort level that Rodgers has with Kuhn brings his grade up. And I'm going to go back to the Chicago game, who threw the block. And so I think Kuhn has an awareness. I'm like you, though. It's always fun for the fans when he gets the ball. But I also know that John Kuhn can catch the ball to the backfield and can be a check down. But I think he, when you look at his assignment and his role on the team, I think he performed well within that role this year, well enough to give him a B for what he had to do. I think he knows where he's at, that Green Bay's the place, the system we have, the quarterback we have. And I think he's a good fit in Green Bay, and I like having him there. I feel comfortable. For the most part, he is mistake-free when it comes to his blocking. He'll miss once in a while, but I like what he brings to the table. I gave him a B for, what he was expected to execute. So, with that said, Bud,
we're back or not?
90 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We got 90 seconds. So, what do you think needs to happen at running back? I mean, this is we got Lacy, and we're probably going to lose Starks, and then you got Franklin. And maybe Kuhn. And Khalil Bell, who's a free agent.
I say bring back Bell. I think he has a little bit to offer. Give Franklin another shot to do what he can and bring Kuhn back.
60 seconds.
A lot to the team. So, but I don't see Starks coming back. But I think with Lacy, Franklin, and Bell, Kuhn, I think that could be a good combo.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Franklin was just a disappointment this year. We'll see what he brings. Kuhn will be there. I like what he does for the blocking. I mean, he's a good guy in there for blocking. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a running back taken in the draft either. I mean, they may go that route a little bit. I don't know. It depends on the Starks thing, or if they can get a free agent. I don't know. We'll definitely talk draft, but we only got about 30 seconds. Any last things you want to say? We graded all the quarterbacks, all the running backs today. Anything else, Bud?
Nope, nothing else to say. Just make sure you listen tomorrow as we preview the NFC and AFC championship.
10 seconds.
Yep, NFC and AFC championship games tomorrow, folks. Going to be another great ramble. With that said, enjoy the night.
Weekend.
Yep, have a great weekend.